I have a radio show called Just Enough Heshy on channel 620 AM radio dial at 9 p.m. And I help people with their building problems, violations, and other many different organizations that I try to help people and volunteer with. So what is my job title? My job title is to help people.
I hear you're running for New York State Assembly now?
Well, originally I was running for the district leader position. And then I found out that our councilman said, who told me that you can have both positions. I said, what do you mean? He says district leader, and he wants to run for district leader.
Well, Dov Hikind was both.
Dov Hikind was both. Now, I remember Carmen Yeager complaining that Dov Hikind controlled too much and it shouldn't have been correct. Now, Mr. Yeager, our councilman, wants everything. So I figured since Mr. Yeager is qualified, and I'm older and have more experience than Mr. Yeager, and now maybe not in the political backstabbing world, but just in the regular world of people, I figured that I'm qualified just as well to have the two positions of the assembly and the district leader position. But again, till the petitions come out on Monday, my official position now is district leader, but I am considering the assembly position very seriously right now because I'm talking to my committee members, we are raising funding, and most people do want me to run for the assembly position, but more.
Yeah, who are those people?
Quite a bit of many people in the development industry, a lot of homeowners, many regular people off the street from Flatbush and Borough Park. I've not really gone after the Moisdes, which I love the Moisdes, but I think that they had no right to back another candidate without giving me the option of my interviewing. Even though they feel he's qualified and he's a Hasidic boy, he's done a lot for the community, don't get me wrong, but I feel so have I, and they should have given me a chance before they all came to endorse him.
But the Moisdes are going to claim they had no idea that you were going to run.
They did know. The Moisdes did know all along.
You just announced a week ago.
We all just announced.
Right. How come you announced in Israel we're wearing your tallis in such a weird fashion?
I announced prior to me leaving to Israel. And once I made the official, it's not really an official, but once I made the announcement, I keep my weekly videos of my Torahs and stuff, and I keep telling people and reminding them that I'm running. But the official announcement was right before I left to Israel, but to my first year, yurtzeit of my mother, and I made that official announcement. And while I'm there, I prepared videos as well, because my time doesn't stop. I got calls from New York, people needed help, money to be transferred, and clients to be helped. I just went to, again, go to the Caver and spend Israel there, but my work always continues.
Did you get any feedback with the video? Because it looked like a little weird. It almost looked like you were waiting for a professor to make fun of you.
Well, people always make fun of me, and I make fun of myself, because life has to be made fun because it's too serious. And if you want to be very serious, which I am a serious man, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people say, oh, he's a clown. I have to be funny and happy due to, we all have tsuris, we all have problems in our lives, and if we're not going to laugh at it a little bit, all that's going to happen is it's going to tear us apart. So I don't make fun of other people. I make fun of myself to show you, look, I'm a regular guy. We all have issues, we all have problems with our children, we all have problems with our homes, our paychecks, our cars, you know. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I was in Eretz Yisrael, I didn't want to go to the mud because I didn't want people to see me. And at the end, when nobody was around, I went to the mud the last minute. They warned me the water's going to get shut off at like 4 o'clock. I didn't have my watch, and I put mud all over me, and it turned 4 o'clock and the water shut off. And I had to struggle back for like 20 minutes to get into a shower, and they were all laughing at me. I laugh at myself because I know that I'm funny. I know inside my heart that I serve God, I serve my community, and I'm very serious about taking care of my fellow man. But I'm going to be happy about it. And if things go wrong, it was meant to be, and we all know that. It's always what they say, Bashet. Sure, I'm going to get angry, sure I'm going to get disappointed, but you must be able to laugh at yourself a little bit. You must make yourself happy. And that is my job. When I go visit people who are Menachem Avot, when I go to places, and when I go visit at the hospital, what do you want me to do? Be sad? To cry with you? Sometimes I do. Most of the time I go there to make you laugh, to make you happy, because that's what life is about. To be happy.
Now, usually when people are running for assembly, they're running for a good reason. Either they don't like the opponent, or they're fed up with their predecessor. Are you happy with the way Dov Hikind ran his affairs the last 35 years?
I've been complaining about Dov the last 6 or 7 years. especially with no votes, no committee memberships. You're right, Dov gets on TV and screams about different issues of Nazi hunters and signs being posted or letters being sent to people, but I didn't see any major legislation in the last 10 years. I mean, take a look at Dov's record. I wasn't happy with the way he didn't take care of a lot of the constituents. Yeah, there are some people in trouble. He helped them with a law. He's a good man, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't happy that he did not put in his 24/7. Yes, we work 24/7. When Shabbos comes around, you take people into your homes. You go to the hospital. You set up volunteer committees. You are a politician. You took responsibility to serve your community, and there's a few 100,000 of us here. So don't think that you have a part-time job here. So no, I was not happy with Dov the last few years. I was not happy that he put Yoni up for councilman. That's why I ran. If Kalman was going to run unopposed, it was that way. But putting up people just because you feel you're going to do it, and Greenfeld tricked us in this race by running and then giving it over to Kalman, again, I felt it was wrong. I didn't think that I had the chance to win because they spent between both of them $1.5 million, and I spent $12,000. But I felt that I should give the people an option. And you're right, I lost because I wasn't on the Democratic line. People couldn't find my name. I didn't go out to advertise. I felt the educated voter and the local people would know me. I made that error. Now I'm going to go out and make sure that everybody knows who I am. I feel embarrassed telling people of things I do. Everybody does good, and I do good. People need to brag. The politicians like to brag. I don't like to brag.
What are you embarrassed about, for example?
I'm embarrassed, you know, when you go visit people in the hospital, or when you do chesed organizations, or when you package the boxes for the sick, and I can keep going down the line. People coming to my home, helping young boys with drug problems, helping families that are in jail, and helping support their families with sending commissary money in. And I'll go down my list of 30 years of people that I've taken into my house. I've taken in many children into my home and been very careful with them. It's scary now, but I still have done that. I've helped people call me Uncle Heshy. I play ball with people, even though my park, by the way, Mr. Councilman, is still closed, my baseball field. You said 2 years, it's another year. I play baseball even at 54 years old. Yes, I cheat a little bit. I throw the ball with spit on it. I trick the boys. But I want you to know that I go, and we have baseball games Friday, and I take off my personal time. And I do work in a youth center with special children, and I'm told not to talk because I talk too much and I can get them nervous. We need people to be involved in the community, to get your hands dirty, to package those boxes, not to stand Erev Pesach with a box of matzahs and take a picture. It doesn't work for me. I wanted to see you load boxes. You took that picture, Mr. Councilman, Mr. Greenfeld, Mr. Ringel. I want to see you actually doing the work. That picture was a fake to me, and that bothered me as well. I am a guy that believes that people need help. I need help. And when I call somebody for help, they come, they help me, I love it. Sometimes we struggle, sometimes we're lost. And that's what I do. I am always available to help people, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's a funeral, whether it's to raise money for a get. I am out there because I feel that our community, my neighbors, my fellow business owners, my people who are in violations or in trouble, yes, I do make money doing what I do, but for the synagogues, mosques, and churches, I don't make money. And you can ask them. You can ask the shul on 60th and 21st Avenue. You can ask the Mushalu Yeshiva. You can ask Kalish. You can go right down the list from the little guys that are in trouble. They don't have the big money. You should ask Satma whose permit was pulled. It was my permit. You should ask Ger who got that floor approved. You're right, you had your contractors and your people behind you. But I was there that you didn't know about that helped and guided and made sure you got to the finish line. Again, what do you want me to do? To brag what I did? I'll brag. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear my accomplishments? We all have accomplishments. But I'm qualified. I know laws. I know how to read the laws. I did not want to be assemblyman because I felt more of my talents are needed here in my area. But now that this position is available, I think I'm just as qualified. I think I'm just as good. And I spoke to our new assemblyman, and he has a good project that if you make, excuse me, I'm sorry, you're right. If you make less than $10,000, I mean, if your tuition is less than $10,000, you get it for free. But I don't understand. You think that my school tuition is less than $10,000? It's not only the Hasidic yeshivas that we send people to. You have yeshivas like Chaim Berlin, Yeshiva Darko that costs $40,000 for those special children, Yeshiva Derech HaTorah. These yeshivas cost $20,000, $30,000. And it's not like that we're going into a better class of yeshiva. We just don't go to the Chassidish yeshivas. And these regular yeshivas like Torvidas, they charge quite a bit of money. And Beis Yaakov, I have 2 girls right now that my family is helping to get through to 2 different Beis Yaakovs. And these girls, if you don't pay the tuition on time, they're thrown out. Why don't you send them to a Chassidish yeshiva? It doesn't work like that.
Would you challenge the Blaine Amendment, which that's the direct cause of why we have no tuition relief?
100%. Not even a question. I have more to do than that. You all think about the tuition relief problems. I have problems that my children or our children have no aftercare programs. And I've been screaming about that for years. Parents have to run home 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the public school kids have it. We have 2 programs for outreach programs called Our Place, which I'm disgusted with. Okay? I just don't like them. I did try it many years ago. I did try to go in there. And then we have the 1229 program, 1225 program with Ozi Babad. 2. Whether you like them or not, we have 2. How many drug rehabs? Do you know that I have kids that are on drugs that we try to help? I lose them. We have kids jumping off bridges. We have young men and women that have depression that we're not helping. And we're telling everybody that we're giving hundreds of millions of dollars. He gets up there the Moses. Or our councilman says there's one Hatzalah. There's one Shoyman. No. When somebody wants to do chesed, everybody gets involved. Everybody's allowed to be involved. We support everybody. You know, Chaverim was promised money many times. Yeah, the forms weren't filled out. What do you mean the forms weren't filled out? I have clients, look at my paperwork. They're not filled out, you help them fill out. That's why you're there. They need Section 8. They need aftercare programs. What do you mean that I have to pay an extra $10 a day for my lunch for my kids? You think I'm complaining about this, but all this adds up. And then when we struggle and we have to go paycheck to paycheck, people say, well, Heshy, you've done better. Yes, many years ago I was struggling too. And I understand the struggles. I understand people living in squalor because I've gone to tens of thousands of homes of Jews and not Jewish people. I've seen the way people live and the people struggle. I have pain in my heart and I have happiness when I do something good. So yes, and I will, don't think for a moment that I'm not against Yafed. I disagree with Moster. Nobody showed up to his protest at City Hall. He keeps getting stronger and stronger. I put him on my show. I questioned him. I didn't see in the last 7 months that Mr. Yeager is in office that he even challenged or tried to negotiate with Moster. Hikind, when he lost the election, they promised to do things. They didn't even challenge it. This guy keeps talking to the mayor and keeps getting stronger. And we are going to get punished at the end. And when we lose it all, who are you going to blame? Ourselves, and that's a problem. I don't want else to be blamed. I can stop Yafed. I will stop him. I will negotiate. I will come up with better ideas, and I know how to get us to the finish line.
Now, does he have any point, though? I mean, it's very easy for people to just say, he's a liar. He doesn't know what he's talking about. We have great education. I mean, is there room for improvement within the education system?
There's always improvement in any education. You know, we have children that are in trouble, and we have new yeshivas or special programs, again, like Yeshiva Dakar. They take in troubled children, Hasidic, modern, Sephardic, all into one place, and they actually help them special programs, but it costs $40,000 a child. And the Board of Education is a problem, because they're taking away money. And then I'm told, well, contact the people. Why aren't we contacted you the first time and you know the story, why haven't you gotten them the money?
Well, are you upset about, remember a press conference a couple of years ago with former Assembly Speaker Shelley Silver, Agudo, they were all clapping, patting themselves on the back. It's a few years later, after all the promises that parents will not have to fight for the money. Remember, they had to go to court every year?
Right.
I'm told by parents, it's back to the same game.
That's the way the game was. They made the promises. You know, I like Aguda, but Aguda is another gimmick, another player out there. Of course, you have your names of Leon Goldenberg, the big players out there, and they know how to support their players. I am not one of those big players. I'm a regular father. I'm a family values man. I'm a guy that wants the little people. I want, and you asked me, the original question was, is there improvement for education? Yes, but the education that we need improvement is to putting these young men to work, to make sure they pay their mortgages. We have math, we have English, we have science, we have world politics, we have different educations to get them bachelor's degrees and GEDs to put them in the field, because today if you don't have a GED or a bachelor's degree, you're not going to get a good job. Not everybody goes into real estate or diamonds or cooking or opening up restaurants. There's so many different fields. And with a bachelor's degree, which is beautiful Touro College, and we have so many other programs, you can get yourself any government license and agency and right away get $60,000, $70,000 and support your families. It shouldn't be a $30,000, $40,000 standard income in Borough Park. We should improve the quality of life. We should change our zoning laws and make sure that there's more apartments in our neighborhoods. We can. It's being done in other neighborhoods. It can be done here in Borough Park and Flatbush and Midwood and Benson. It could be done. You're scared that we have too many people here? I don't care. I like our neighborhoods. Clean, safe, nice. Where else do you want to live in this world? Ship them to Jersey or to Harlem? No. I want my children living here. And I know if we do it correctly and smartly, it can be done. Now, on the education problem with Yafet is, since he feels that he has to get the money or control, he has to team up with the non-Jewish public schools and educations. So he has to follow their curriculum. And that's sex educations and other programs that we're not interested in. We have a right to choose what to teach our children. Of course, we have to upgrade it and make it better and get better books. But some of the programs that they want are just unnecessary. You know, if you ever go to college, there are courses on how to chip wood. There's another course, how to cut grass. Really, if you ever go to college, there's prehistoric history. You know, fine. You can study and learn whatever you want, and you can get your degree in that. But the basic knowledge in our neighborhoods is we know what to teach our children. We want to put our children to work, and a good parent, you know, you can home educate your child as well. We understand how to educate our children. I love Bikur Cholim. I know what you're thinking, Satmar Bikur Cholim. They have been there before anybody. They were the first kosher kitchens. I understand the feuds. I understand the Maimonides feuds. We have, so many different organizations of, you know, Tumchei Shabbos, and then my cousin who has, also programs to deliver food, Sheves Achem. He sends out 100 and something meals. We have so many, organizations. I feel bad on the feud, and we're going to have to sit down and make a compromise, and we're going to make everybody work, because the more support, the more volunteers out there. You know, on a Friday night, you should come meet to Maimonides. Besides all the volunteers that are there, you see little girls running around with chales, handing it to people's places. You see the program that's running right now, the Bikur Cholim room over there, how they give out these packages of fish and meat. You have the tulip lady bringing tablecloths to people. You're so proud not only to be a Jew, but so proud to be a member of the human race, because you see how we take care of our fellow man. There are issues, political issues, and things went on with money problems, and we don't know the little dots and I's that happen. Things go wrong. We have to sit down, some of the big players, to make it work. You say, what kind of money issues? I mean, I don't really know. I just. What would that have to do with NYU if it's volunteer? What would that have to do? Because there are they do need money. These organizations, they get money from blood drives. They get. So are you saying they weren't delivering when they were supposed to? I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is there is a dispute, and we have to sit down and make it go. You know, when the people in the MTA, they went on strike, even though they weren't allowed to. We had people interfering and making a deal. There are strikes. We don't know exactly all the details. And in this case, we need our qualified members. Yes, even an outside assemblyman or councilman. Hey, let's get involved and let's help. So what would you do if you were mediating? What would you tell NYU to do? I would really have to know more of the inside facts. And I'm sure if I was allowed to mediate, they'd let me call in. I would sit, like I do many times. I have a lot of neighbors in this neighborhood who fight with each other. Stupidity over 18 inches, over building a house with a window in the wrong spot, of not allowing my Jewish neighbors in because you're bringing in a non-Jewish tenant. I've sat down and I've mediated neighbors. I've made things work. Even though people get upset with me, I know how to make people make peace. I had two neighbors fighting really over 18 inches for 2 years. Court cases, battles, lawyers. It took me about 6 months to negotiate the peace. And I made them at the end to agree that when one of their kids got married, which happened to be 6 months later, we're all going to dance together. And everybody who lived on Webster Avenue took pictures. They couldn't believe that we were dancing together. The peace was made against these two neighbors who fought terribly. The whole block was turned over. Am I a good negotiator? Yes. Am I a good salesman? I can sell a project if you come up with a good plan. And I don't know if they've let me negotiate it because it's maybe out of my league or maybe not in where it is. But of course I will ask if they want my help. Sure.
Is Simcha Eichenstein happy that you're running? He's not happy. He's caught by surprise. Did you speak to him about this?
No, Simcha is, I believe, I'm hoping this race will run like we did before, civilly. But if not, you know what? This is politics. I learned from the last time that they stabbed you in the back. They did try to badmouth me, even though I was told and I did confront our councilman. I said, you know, your people did talk bad about me, not you. He says, well, I can't control my people. I can't control my minions. Well, you know what? If you're the boss, you will control them or you fire them. If somebody does that in my campaign, you are fired tomorrow morning. So, do I like Simcha? He's a good man. He lives in the neighborhood for many years. I've seen him do so much good. But he now knows I'm running, and he's my neighbor. He is a neighbor, and I'm so happy I became friendly with him. But he's going to be my competition, and I'm hoping this stays fair. But if it's not, and I want to apologize, I do make mistakes every day of my life. So if any way I insult him or I say something bad, too bad, but I'm going to apologize because that's your political game. I'm going to try to be, I'm not a politician.
So you're apologizing before you even say the comment?
Yeah, I'm not a politician because I do screw up every day. I don't lie, I don't steal. I mess up. And sometimes I mess up big. All I can do is fix up my mistakes. So I'm going to try to do the right thing.
But that's pretty unique that you're apologizing before you even know what you're going to say.
Because we all make mistakes. I know this is going to be, it's not a two-day thing. It's not buying something and going home to eat or serving something on the plate that most of the time is good. You know there's mistakes. When you file paperwork, there's mistakes. You know, they went after Kushner. He filed false documents with the DOB. Everybody makes mistakes. You file thousands and thousands of documents. There are mistakes. You know, I'm very upset with this Trump. Everybody doesn't understand with this stupid special prosecution and all that. You're spending billions of dollars. It's 2 years later. Nothing has happened. You know it's a joke. You're trying to find other evidence. This is a game, and you're wasting our time, our money, our media. You're making this into a joke. And happens to be, Mr. Trump is doing a pretty good job. You're right. He's wild. I like him. He's a street man, a guy with style, and he made mistakes in the past. You're going to ask me personal stuff, what he did? Again, it's his choice. He made a mistake. I hope he apologized. I hope he worked it out with his family. But right now, he's doing a job that he wasn't qualified for, and he seems to be pretty qualified.
There are people that are going to be watching this, and they're going to say, they want to know, how do we know that you weren't put up by Simcha to make it look competitive, that you're really behind the scenes working with Simcha?
I never even thought of that question. Simcha did not put me up. That's a fact. I did mention a long time ago that I was thinking of running for the assemblyman spot, and that's why I was always on the radio telling people that before. But the truth is, I'm going to tell you the straight is, if you don't believe me, it's nothing I can do about it. Simcha did not put me up. I just got I wasn't really, the truth is, I wasn't going to run for the assembly. A lot of people on the street told me it's time to run, and I've been listening to the public. You know how Hillary went on a listening tour on her bus? I did a walking Shabbos tour listening to people. And people said, run for the assembly. I said, well, I want to run for district leader. I think I can start there and then come back for the city council seat when Mr. Yeager retires or doesn't run again. Or if he doesn't do a good job, which I'm not happy with so far, I was going to run against him. But the people have told me that run for it. We want to hear you. We want to knock on your door. And I felt that with my committee and with the voices that I heard on the street, you're right, he has the backing of a lot of people, but I feel that the people on the street, and I didn't just spoke to 1,000, 2,000. I'm going out there to get 3,000 signatures. I've spoken to 10,000 people. Even in Israel, people stop me on the street that are Americans and says, Heshy, we like you. We should have voted for you, but we didn't think that you had the opportunity or the money or the backing. Now people see that I'm a very serious man, and I've helped since that last election hundreds of families get back in their homes. Thousands of people with their violations and other issues. Fed thousands of families over the holidays and raised tens of thousands of money for different organizations. So, am I qualified? No, maybe not. But yes, because I do know the problems and the troubles and the things. Do I have experience in the political field? Yes and no. I know that you give me a shot, that I will do a great job. I know you don't want to gamble on a new politician. But my competitor Simcha has been in the political world for many years. But again, he's a liaison. He worked for de Blasio. Well, you know we hate de Blasio. You know he didn't get in trouble with Rechnitz. Why? I have no idea. Did they cooperate with the feds? I don't have problems with domestic violence. I don't have problems with politicians giving me bribes. I had a certain issue in my previous life and I made mistakes too. But I am not a regular politician. I don't get bribed. I don't deal with these bad men. I don't make deals. So, Mr. Simcha Eichenstein did not put me up to run against him. I think it might look good for him that he'll be able to raise more money because he does have a competitor, so this might help him.
The marquee bill is going to be up again next year.
No.
How would you vote for that?
No.
You're against it?
You know what the marquee bill is about?
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking you.
I'm asking you to give me what your opinion of it is.
Well, I'm the interviewer here. You vote for an extension of statute of limitations?
Well, the marquee bill has to be worked out a little better. I'm not happy with the full bill that it goes on forever and you can close down a school 60 years later on. But yes, I do believe that the statute of limitations should be changed. I do believe that we should be careful on our children. You know, I'm part of a group of private citizens and parents that we implemented a rule, and most yeshivas now have accepted it, that children should not be alone with a rebbe or teacher ever. They should have at least 2 kids in a room or 2 rebbes in a room, which doesn't pay, and or to have cameras. So we have to stop sexual abuse right now. Not even allow it to get to the bill that we're going to be suing, but yes, it should be extended. 23 years old is not enough time. We need to be able to punish. We can't close down all these yeshivas. You can't come 60 years later, but we do have to be able to find a way to compromise this. And most of all, we have to find a way to stop the abuse now. I mean, not even to allow it to happen to our young boys and girls. We have to teach them. I understand we're not going to be teaching sex education in our classes, but we have to be able to create literature to find a way to send it home to the parents to teach their children.
Well, that has been done a few years ago by Project Yes. I mean, phenomenal work by Rabbi Horowitz.
Correct, but it's not enough because guys like me did not get it. Modern yeshivas, Hasidic yeshivas, we need to be able to put out a word in a very delicate way how to teach our children. And you're right, people who do bad things need to be punished forever. But again, do the yeshivas need to be punished? We have to sit down and really work it out.
Well, no one's claiming that.
We need to be able to come up with, of course, an extension to that, because the lifetime of this child, of course, it can't be 40, 50, or 25 or 30 years later, and it can't be a time limit of his age of 23, because like you said, they graduated 18, the first 5 years, they're trying to deny it, they're trying to get married, they're trying to start their life. People try to forget the bad things in their life. We need time for them to work it out. You know, like now you see a lot of these bad men have done some things to women, as you've seen in the newspapers, of other Harvey Weinstein and these famous actors and so on. These things were extended. There are longer time periods. We need, especially to our children that are ruined and hurt, to make sure that these time limits get along. And yes, the yeshivas are responsible. Find a way to make sure that you watch our babies, because they're the most precious gift we have. Those are the ones that make us happy. Those are the ones who make us sad. And I want to tell you a story. I told it on the radio the other day. I was walking the old city and I got lost a little bit. And I found a shul. Somebody was telling me there's a shul, and I went and I saw a shul with a rabbi, a makubal. And I was joking around with him, and I sat down with him, a little Hasidim over there. It was Matzi Yontif. And I was sitting in this old little thing in the old city right after the Armenian section. And I figured I'd have a good laugh, and I sat down with this rabbi. And I started complaining about the election and about my life and about my mother dying and you know, money, you know, issues. It just went on. And he told me, don't worry about it, I'm going to help you. But first, I have a problem. I said, what's your problem? He says, I couldn't pay my rent. told me this. I told him the other day, I couldn't pay my rent. I said, no problem, Rabbi, what do you need? He said, he told me a shekel amount. I said, you know what, I'm going to give you $500 cash, which will be more than enough. Then he tells me I have a problem with the grocery bill. I said, no problem. Rabbi, come, I don't have any money on me. If you come to my apartment, he says, no problem. He stood up, grabbed my hand, put on his coat, let's go. My apartment was 10 minutes away. We walked over to the apartment, we walked in the house, I called my wife over to give me the money. The rabbi sat down with me, counted out the cash for him, I handed it to him, and he started screaming at me. Who do you think you are giving me this money? Who do you think these problems are going away? Really, he started screaming at me in front of the family. I just gave you $1,000, Rabbi, I don't even know who you are, I met you on the street there. And again, he gets out and he puts his coat, I want you to come with me. And I like this man. Somehow he's just a cute man. Grabs my hand and he makes me walk about 8 blocks into the Mei Shurim section. And I see right away on the door, somebody sitting shiva. We walk into the house, he sits me down, he walks over to the lady and hands her the money, points to me. He comes over to me, he says, and the lady was crying and she was looking at me. He says, she just lost her husband and 4 kids in a car accident. What are you complaining about? You're right, Rabbi. He did pray for me. He did end up giving me a bracha. We all have troubles and tribulations. We all have to help our fellow man. Sometimes I don't understand my troubles and I think too harshly about other people. And we have to know that we have good lives and we're given gifts, and these children are our gifts. And when they take them away from us in a fire or whatever it is, I know Eibishter wants them back, the God wants them back. They're jewels, they don't belong to us. But as long as they're here, we're here to protect them and watch them. I used to go to my son's yeshiva every Sunday and talk to the Rebbes. These are my babies, these are the way you're going to treat them, and if you don't like them, no problem, there's 500 other yeshivas, and I'm a full paying tuition father, and I'll find a way to get them somewhere else. You must watch our babies. I had a lot of kids that came through my house, some of them abused and not. We must watch them. It's our responsibility. You do, you get punished. What's the time limit of punishment? I do believe forever, but you know, let's be realistic. You can't close down a yeshiva with 300, 400 kids. You can't punish somebody 20 generations later for what their father or grandfather did. People do things that are bad.
But that's not what the bill is. That
the statute of limitations should be extended.
That's one of the main things.
So how far?
It's not about punishing others.
But you extend it so far that the yeshiva changes administrations and children. You are now punishing the new school. But I'll be honest with you. I'm on the ropes. I'm on the ropes on this. I need an extension. I do want to punish. I hate people that hurt our children. But again, I love my yeshivas. I see the magic they do for our children. I see when my baby's born and he can't talk and he comes home now, he's married, learning blots of Gemara. English education, there are many yeshivas with good secular educations. We need to, of course, always improve. I love my yeshivas, I love my schools, I love my aftercare people who help the special education children. There's money that's needed. I don't believe the money is being appropriated properly. I believe that our councilman and assemblyman did not do that correctly, that the wrong people are getting money, or if they get the money, they're not trickling it down properly. And I believe that even though our councilman is on the oversight committee, it's not being well protected. We have computer classes that I've helped open up computer rooms and computer classes, and they were not properly funded, or they were always broke to get that together. Where's all that money that was associated or appropriated to them? We have a lot of issues. And I will put my hands in and I will dig into those issues. I won't wait 5 or 6 months.
Would you clean up the corruption?
I will for sure talk about it. I don't know if in my district I'm going to go after it. I will be looking at the police. I will be looking at I won't be allowing them to just ticket blitz without knowing and screaming and hollering about it. You know, the councilman told me the other day, you know, our driving and moving traffic in Borough Park is better. I'll be honest with you, I live here. I don't know where Mr. Councilman Yeager lives, but the Borough Park traffic is just terrible. I was stuck on one block for 45 minutes. Now he says, well, the little people that are giving the tickets for the meters and fire hydrants, those people are still doing their job, even though I know they're giving more of a ticket blitz. They're looking for every registration, they're looking for a scratch, they're just writing up tickets. I got a ticket the other day for the pump. I took pictures, I was 20 feet away. I had one guy standing by my car. I took a picture as he waited for the meter, the time to expire. That's a nerve. But He says the cops now are driving around giving tickets as well. Ticket blitzes. Get the people on the street, get the police officers to move traffic along. I came up with so many different ideas that these people are just trying to hurt us. The other day I was coming back from the airport from Israel, and I was scared to make that left turn on Avenue J because I remembered there's a no turn sign. Now they put up the rest of the streets. And it was about, I don't know, 1 o'clock or late at night. I actually saw a police officer waiting for people to make the illegal left. Now, even if the sign is there, this is dark. In the middle of the night, you couldn't see the sign during the day people are being illegal. He's now standing there to try to catch people at night. And we allow this. We allow this, and our politicians allow it, and it's like they don't know about it. We're giving them the complaints. Some politicians said, well, we'll keep delivery trucks late at night. So you now want our owners of stores to work all day and all night. Well, let them charge more money to the people. No, the whole objective is that they service us as a community. They give us better breaks. We're buying kosher food and we're spending a lot of money. I remember Dov Hikind used to complain on Pesach, all the prices of food and chickens went up. So now you want it to go up even more? These are things that are injustice, and nobody stops them. So is that corruption? To me, that's corruption. Yes, I'll be looking into it. I'll be talking to my fellow assembly members. I'll be talking to my fellow district leaders. I'll be going to the council. I'll be arguing and screaming at different politicians that we need to figure out a way to make things better. It's easy. There are solutions out there. We're just not doing it because we're busy with other nonsense. My final statement is here. I grew up in this neighborhood. I've been here for over 40 years. My father was a Holocaust survivor, but he died when I was a young man. So I know what it is to raise not one family, but two. I know what it is to deal with Down syndrome people. My sister is Down syndrome and she's healthy and beautiful and lives with me for over 40 years. I know what it is to deal with the elderly. I know what it is to deal with special children. I know what it is to be education. I was a teacher. I was a counselor. I'm a guide. I don't want to be no major leader. I'm not here to take control. And I'm telling you, I'm just a plain, regular human being, but I'm your neighbor. I know what we strive through. I know our taxes, our water bills, our violations. I know what we struggle through every day. I know what it is not having that $250 at the end of the month to cover that last tax bill. So I'm telling you now, I am your man that has gone through the troubles and tribulations. I've had personal issues that bother me personally. And I know that I can help. I know I can make a change. And I know that I can strive to do better for myself and for my community. So I'm asking you again, when you see my name on that ballot, flip Heshy Tischler, Harold Tishler, whatever name they put on there, because I'm here for you. And it's not here to be a politician. I'm not here to play any games. I'm not here for 36 years. I'm here to serve my time, to make a change. You know, council seat was perfect for me because it would be 2 terms and then I retire. My deal with the assembly, if I get elected, I will run my terms, maybe 2 or 3 terms, try to make the changes, and then make sure that there's somebody ready in the sides to be ready to take over. You know, Dov Hikind endorsed my competitor, Simcha Eichenstein. So basically, we're just taking the same man and sending one of his protégés in. So if you like Dov, you have to vote for Simcha. But if you're not happy with Dov's ideas, then Simcha is not the man for you. I am not Simcha's ideas. I like a lot of the stuff he has, but I'm nothing like them. I have nothing like the old things. I'm looking at the young people. I'm looking at the family members. I'm looking at the old age homes and nursing homes. I think outside the box, but then again, I know what's in the box. So I'm not going too far out. I don't want the old policies of Dov Hikind. I for sure don't want any of the old policies of Greenfeld. I sure don't like what's going on in my community. And it's time for a change. It's time to make our neighborhoods greater than before. Change the zoning laws. Bring our young people. And I don't want my children going to Jersey or other towns. I want them staying here. Whether it's Ocean Parkway, whether it's Borough Park, or making the community great, we have a chance to do better for our children and for ourselves. Please vote for Heshy Tischler. And if you want constant updates on me, listen to my radio show, Just Enough Heshy, on channel 620 AM, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Thank you. Have a great week.